Hello, my loves. So I have titled this, You Are Coded for Greatness, because when I felt into what I could share with you that's going to brighten your day, but also provide guidance for the feelings that you might have been experiencing lately, because it's all about finding the ways that you're unaware of your magnificence, removing those barriers because you are so much more than you're letting yourself see. Ask yourself, how different would your life look if you believed that you were coded for greatness? If you believe that everything that you need to bloom into your magnificence is inside you, and that all the support that you require for the journey has been present always, even before you arrived. If you knew those things, honestly, how different would you be living right now? Well, that's the subject of the message today. And I'm going to share it in a metaphor style because I love sharing this way. This is the way that I teach in my courses. I love stories, I love metaphors, and I love that the way that they enhance the learning experience. It really just gets into our minds because at the heart, we're all storytellers, right? And so we engage in stories in a way that we don't just engage in a regular video. So my name is Rachael Poffenroth, and I help people to connect to that inner guidance, to discover who they are at the core, and then to find ways to express it in the world that works with them, not with what the world says you should be doing, but with your unique imprint, because we're each here to do things our way for a reason. Because not everyone is the same, and someone is looking for exactly the kind of skill set and experience and teaching and ways of looking at the world that you have, but they're not going to find you if you're not being you. So let's get into it. And I would honestly love if you would leave your comments below about what the greatest awareness or aha was from this video. And if you have any questions about anything else that this brings up that you might be struggling with, please also feel free to share that. And I would love to make a video just for you because you deserve it, because you are that magnificent. Alrighty, so let's get into it. First of all, happy spring, guys. Spring equinox is a time when the light and the darkness are actually equal, except we also just had a full moon right on top of that. So we had extra light, which means extra illumination and extra intensity of our feelings. You might have been like a lot of other people who I was working with that have been experiencing feeling of restlessness. That's on purpose. We see everything happens for you, not to you. So let's think about how a seed, what would a seed feel like? It's in the ground and it begins to germinate. So right before it cracks open that outer shell of the seed casing, I bet it feels just as restless, right? It's an internal motivation to do something more, to be something more than just a seed of potential. And it's the same for us. Our restlessness that we're feeling is that internal motivator saying, it's time to crack out of your shell and to explore life beyond the confines of what has been your previous safe zone. If a seed stayed inside the shell, not only would it never experience the world that is waiting for it, but we would never experience it. We are the world that's been waiting. You see, the opportunity always exists. It's always there in any given moment. The question is, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to respond to that inner urging, that calling, that motivation? How are you going to harness this restless energy and crack out of your shell to become that beautiful, radiant version of you that you are meant to be? Because within you is a seed. And with all that coding also required to bloom inside the seed for that seed to become its fullest fruition. If you stay inside your seed casing, you're incredibly limited. Think about that for a moment. Just picture yourself stuck inside the seed, inside that casing. It's dark, you can't see anything, there's not much going on, and it's really not very exciting, right? Now, think about what it would be like to crack that shell open a little bit and pop out like one leg of roots. First, to feel around in that fertile, nourishing, inviting ground. And just on the outside, right? How exciting and invigorating would it be to sense that there's a world just outside of my shell? Now, allow yourself to be that seedling, putting out a few more feelers, a few more roots, and knowing that you don't even have to think about what you're doing. You are just aware that all the coding that you need is inside you. You just follow the urge to grow, to expand, and to take on whatever new form evolves. The seed isn't sitting there judging itself against other seedlings, right? It's not like, oh, look at that one. It's growing faster than I am. Or that one seems to really have its crap together. Or, it's not sitting there judging itself, nor is it wondering why it looks different. It's fully consumed with its own adventure of life. It's filled with the excitement of what it will become when it has come into its fullest fruition of itself and who it's meant to be. It is enjoying every leg of the journey, and that's key. Right from the initial contact with that welcoming and supportive, nurturing ground to the complete unfolding of itself in the germination process where it finally gets to come out of the shell and right into the sensation of the sun that warms the ground and encourages it to grow by shedding light on which direction to grow in. Isn't it interesting how the light is above us? I know we don't think about that, but the light from the sun draws these seeds to grow upward. It beckons it to come out into the light. As it does with this, it also follows the coding within to grow towards the light, and then it experiences new levels of freedom. Now, picture this cute little seed. It's no longer stuck in the ground anymore, guys, right? Now it's beginning to feel the warmth of the sun for the first time, and it feels so amazing. And all it wants to do now is to grow as high as it can so that it can enjoy even more warmth of that beautiful sunshine. So then this beautiful seed becomes a flower, and the petals begin to form. Its individual expression is now beginning to shine through, and it's radiating that full expression of itself for all the world to see. And guess what? The world is supporting its growth in every stage. It has, and it gives it all the moisture, the warmth, the nutrients, everything that it needs to grow into this magnificent flower that it was meant to be. So here's another key to this story. All the supporting elements already existed before the seed began to grow. If we use this metaphor that nature provides us with this time of year, we can see that we are also fully supported, and everything that we need is also always available to us before we begin to grow. And our coding is also already within us. Our only task is to be us. Not to focus on all the busyness and the doing and the having and the hoarding and the accumulating, but to know that if you are placed here in this exact location with this calling on your life, with this coding to be who you're meant to be, everything you have ever needed to know is within you, and all the support is always being available to you before you even thought to ask for it. So our key to growing, to evolving, to becoming who we're meant to be is to remove all the distractions, all the obsessions, all the judgments and the labels we put on ourselves, all the blind spots that we have put up, so that we can purely focus on who we are and why we're here. So the last part of the story of nature is that all the people who are walking by on the hiking trail who stop to admire this beautiful flower. I can just imagine the flower smiling, feeling so fulfilled that it's living its purpose and bringing joy to all those people who have the opportunity to walk by it. It stretches itself as fully as it can so that everyone can see it so clearly. It doesn't hide a leaf that might have been chewed off by an insect and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's ugly. I don't want you to see that." It says, "Hey, look at me. Look at all of me. I have nothing to hide because I am living my best life. I'm living my purpose." So I ask you, during this beautiful time of spring, of growth, of evolution, are you ready to become who you're meant to be? Are you ready to bloom into your magnificence? Are you ready to access the support that's always been available to you? Are you ready to allow that inner genetic coding to lead the way and unfold your purpose as you become willing to go through each stage? Life is an adventure, guys. The opportunity always exists around us. What is it that you're going to do with it? I can't wait to see you grow into your most beautiful flower. And I invite you, as you see all those beautiful flowers beginning to spring up out of the ground this spring, remember that they too had a journey. They too had to crack out of their shell of safety. They too had to access the support that they needed to grow. And they too had to pop their heads out of the ground and come into the light. If that tiny little seed can do it, think of the power that exists in you. Happy spring, my loves, and keep noticing how nature teaches us all the lessons that we need. Remember that if you need more of this kind of content, if you need help to discover your purpose, activate your potential, bloom into your power zone, you can book a call with me, and through that, you can actually access my early bird discount from my upcoming course called You've Got Miracles, where we go through all the steps of evolution right from childhood. So we're going to deal with some shadows, some inner child healing, and we're going to do a few clearings to help you move through these different stages. And then we're also going to figure out who you are. We're actually going to create a board. It's called a value vision board of what's important to you, because there's 3 stages to becoming who you're meant to be. And the first one is to know yourself, right? To know your purpose. The second one then is to love yourself in ways that you can then feel like you want to show the world who you are. So you're loving all aspects of you, not just those parts where you think are important. And then the third level is going to be about expressing yourself. How can you express yourself in your own unique, individualized way? Not according to anybody else's map, according to the map that you are going to plot in this course specifically for you. So remember, that course is coming up. It's called You've Got Miracles. If you want a discount, you need to book a call in the next 2 weeks to get on the discounted price. And most importantly, remember, you are the magnificent creator of your own life. Mwah. Don't forget to subscribe and like and put a comment below. Much love, guys.